What's up, guys? Welcome back. Glad you're here. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at one of the newest decks to hit this community. That's right, and it comes from a dynamic duo as well as two of the biggest juggernauts doing it. That's right, we're going to be looking at the Daniel and Daniel's newest deck, the Remedies. That's right, by Daniel Madison and Daniel Schneider. So, buckle in your seatbelts. We're going there. Let's go. The Remedies Playing Cards by Daniel Madison and Daniel Schneider is the newest release between the duo. That's right, and the first as well. Daniel Schneider, who is a well-known illustrator and designer, well known for his work on the Orbit brand decks as well as his own with the Black Roses. And then Daniel Madison, who is also a huge name within the card community, runs the 52 alongside Laura London. He's responsible for over 60 decks of cards, and he's done work with big major companies such as Illusionist, Theory 11, and more. The classic style tuck box is very minimalistic. That's right, it's going to be this beautiful scarlet red color. That's right, there's going to be no kind of text font at all, but you are going to see in the center the white feather to represent Daniel Madison and the rose that we've seen in the Black Roses collection to represent Daniel Schneider. The bottom of the tuck box is going to feature some ad copy about Remedies, Daniel Madison, and Daniel Schneider, as well as the playing card company. The back of the tuck box is going to feature the back design of the cards, which we'll get into momentarily. There's no text font on the sides. On the top part of the tuck, it's going to say Madison and Schneider with that same logo with the feather and the rose. On the inner part of the tuck flap, it's going to say we cannot recover from who we are. Then on the inner flaps, it's going to have a DM for Daniel Madison and a DS for Daniel Schneider. This deck does come printed by the United States Playing Card Company on their crushed premium B stock. That's right, it does have an air cushion emboss and a traditional cut, and this is a limited edition run of only about 2,500 decks. The back design on the cards themselves, as you're going to see, is going to look very much close to what we saw on the tuck box, except for a mirrored image. That's right, you're going to see top and bottom that mirrored image of the feather and rose. You're going to also see that same beautiful scarlet red color that's going to go all the way in through that card, as well as a nice medium white poker border, making this deck very beautiful and attractive. With this deck, you're going to receive some extra cards. That's right, the first two are going to be your duplicate and original jokers. That's right, these look very familiar because they go aligned with a lot of the Daniel Madison series decks, such as the Rounders and the Dealers and more. You're also going to have a reveal in one of the Roses, which is going to be a 9 of Diamonds. The next card is going to be a duplicate, but not just any duplicate. That's right, in this deck, because the Daniels in their own decks are the King of Diamonds, well, they decided to do it differently. So instead of doing one card in a duplicate manner, they decided to each have their own card. So Daniel Madison is the King of Diamonds duplicate holding a 9 of Clubs reveal, and Daniel Schneider is the other and main King of Diamonds. The other and last card you're going to get is going to be a Angle Z card, which is very famous within the community. You've seen people like David Blaine, Jay Sankey, and more perform this effect. That's right, it also dubs as a duplicate Ace of Spades in ways, and I'll link everything down below where you can check out this effect. The pips and indices in this deck are going to look very close to USPCC standard, but upon closer inspection, you would see that these are actually Daniel Schneider's own creations. That's right, he actually sells this package on his website that you can get for about 10 euros now, and I'll link that also below. As far as the courts are concerned, you're going to see some returning faces as well as some new ones if you're familiar with both Daniel's work. That's right, From both of their decks, you're going to see stuff such as the Queen of Clubs, holding the Balazong from the Schneider Roses collection, and more. The significant other of Daniel Madison, the Queen of Diamonds. The Queen of Spades is Madison's sister, holding the Four of Hearts reveal in her hand. The beautiful Lana Del Rey makes her return as the Queen of Hearts. The King of Diamonds is, of course, Daniel Schneider, holding the Two of Diamonds reveal in his hand. The famous David Blaine is the King of Spades. The Jack of Diamonds is Chris Orbit Brown. The King of Clubs is Magic Orthodoxy. And of course, Fareed, the Magician, holding the nailed gun as the King of Hearts. As far as the aces are concerned in this deck, they're going to be pretty much that same standard Schneider kind of look until we get over to the Ace of Spades, which is going to look very familiar at first glance. It's going to look pretty reminiscent of the Rounders Ace of Spades that we've seen in the previous Madison decks. It's going to say Remedies inside. It's going to say Madison and Schneider. It's going to come on down and have that same famous mantra that we saw on the tuck box: we cannot recover from who we are. That's it for this deck. Join me now for my final thoughts. Alright, so you want to know what I give this deck? I give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Great deck of cards. I mean, all the way around, through and through. I love the color. I love everything about it. I love the duplicate jokers. There's a lot of card reveals in here as well that is really cool to see. There's also one underneath the tuck box as well that you got to kind of rip apart and get to. Not something I was willing to do for the review. I wasn't going to destroy my tuck box. Even though you can glue it back, things can happen. We'll just say that. But like I said, you have two just juggernauts that come together and collab on a deck of cards, and it comes out just beautifully. You have Daniel Schneider, who's known for probably the best court cards in the game. He's touched everything between, the Orbits or his own Black Roses collection, like I said in the beginning. Daniel Madison, who's also just a giant when it comes to Magic, deceptive practices and more. So, two of them just came together and blow, and they just pumped out a masterpiece. A couple things that I didn't like about it, like I said, and I was very boisterous on this in the beginning. I took the video down because of all the hate I got for it, but I will never do that again, I promise. But they did offer a $52 or 52 euro, private reserve deck that looks very similar, a little bit more minimalistic, different gaff cards, things of that nature. But that $55 US price point is just not worth it to me. I don't like it. Nothing says this is a $55 deck at all. No bells and whistles, no nothing special. But that's my opinion, and that's the beautiful part about it. You don't like it, you don't have to. Yeah, other than that, like I said, it's a great deck. Totally unbiased, regardless of my relationship with both gentlemen aside. This is just a great effort. And I definitely highly encourage you guys to get these. They feel identical to the Red Roses and the Les Meliers decks that I've reviewed both of actually on my channel. So great deck of cards all the way around. So like I said, I'll link everything down below where you guys go and check these out. And if you enjoyed this review, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you beautiful people on the next one.